Come out, Tae first turned to face Mrs. Jian before turning to the luxurious room in front of him. He slowly exited the car. Two servants arrived and grabbed his belongings. Come, Tae, let's go inside. Mrs. Jian walked first, following by Tae. What Tae didn't expect was Jungkook standing near the front door. Tae looked at him with shock and hated. He still can't get over how Jungkook insulted him by giving him a blank check. He looked at him without showing any emotion. Jungkook moved in their direction while grinning. He approached Tae and kissed him on the cheeks. Welcome, Tae, Jungkook said. Did he just kiss me? Tae thought in terror. He looks at Jungkook with shock without making it obvious to Mrs. Jian. Jungkook then put his hand on Tae's shoulders and pulling him inside with him because he needed to clarify so many things. He had planned to take Tae into the guest room, but they were forced to stop when it appears that you two forget that I was pregnant. Mrs. Yan, who was now behind them, she saw the couple walking without meeting her. Emma, they must be tired from the travel. I am going to show him his room. We can catch up later. Jungkook spoke quickly and threw Tae along. I can't still believe this Brett has a boyfriend and look at him now. Doesn't care about me when he see his boyfriend. Mrs. Jung walked away with a smile laugh. Get your hands off of me. As soon as they entered the room, Tae said, like I wanted, after releasing his grip on Tae's shoulders. Jungkook locked the door from the inside. What do you think you are going? Tae asked angrily. Before we continue acting, I need to clear something up with you. Jungkook pushed and continued. This acting will only last until my mother goes abroad next month. She will depart thoughts this month. We must work together without letting her know the truth. You have complete freedom here. I promise to never question anything and vice. Don't even try to meddle in my business and stay away from me when she isn't present. I will never tolerate anyone who smells my personal matters. Keep this in mind and try to stay here without making any unnecessary scenes. Understood? Without waiting for Taehyung, Jungkook opened the door and left. Rude, he said. With grief in his heart, he stand there, he said, while slowly rubbing his stomach. What sadness me the most was he didn't care a bit about you even more. Along Hobby entered the house carrying a few packets. Mrs. Kim was doing the laundry when Mrs. Kim left. Felt a presence. She instantly switched her walker from the laundry to the front door. As she eyed the person in front of her, she called out in a low voice, Taehyung, Tae. Granny, it's me, Hobby. Hobby said softly. Oh, I'm sorry, Hobby. I was just thinking about Tete and it simply split out of my mouth. Have you already missed him? Since Tete was not here, I brought your medicine. There isn't a day I miss Tete, even if he is studying or working in a restaurant. I will wait for him in the hallway and sometimes glance outside, Granny said with a smile as if she were remembering those times. Then why did you send him if you miss him this much? Hobby asked suddenly. I didn't send him. Mrs. Jian requested to move in with Jungkook and I just gave her my permission. She spoke softly. Stop lying. I saw you meet Mrs. Jian 2 days ago. Hobby assessed on eyebrow and gave her a strong look with did you want him to move in so badly? Then what are you telling me to do? Let him be hurt by those money lenders, work like a dog all day to lessen all the burdens? What do you expect me to do? To stand still and see my poor things breaking himself every day? Granny asked with so much pain. Hobby didn't say anything. Even night, I heard his sobbing in the shower. It break my heart that I couldn't do anything for my kids when he was suffering all by himself. I am nothing but a sick old lady who let him suffer alone. Tears are falling while she is speaking. Yes, I am the one who requests Mrs. Jian make Themo in his partner. It is wrong that I want him to stop suffering. I wanted to see Tete living the life he wanted with his own family before I die. It's too much for me to wish like this. This time too, Hobby didn't say anything. His eyes also filled the tears after hearing Granny words. He hugged her and patted her back slowly. Mrs. Kim also leaned into Hobby holds. They stay here for a minute. Don't let they know about this, she said so, to which Hobby gave her a nod. Other side, don't forget to go on checkup every month, and you Jungkook keep your work aside and focus on Tae and you baby more. And don't forget about the party next week. I hope you behave yourself because you are now going to have a family soon, Mrs. Jian said, giving Jungkook a warning look. Sure, Jungkook said with a non-expression. Please take care of yourself, dear. Don't worry about your grandma. She will be fine there. I will visit you often, okay? Mrs. Jian said. Stop calling me Mrs. Jian. Call me Emma, baby. Okay, Emma. They smiled. It's been a long time since he used this word, and now thinking that there is someone for him to call Emma to making him happy. The car is ready. Thay and Mrs. Jian were suddenly alert by Jungkook's voice. This breath, Mrs. Jian said under her breath, and she finally gave Thay a smile and Jungkook a strong look before entering the car and driving away. They stood there watching her disappear from the closet gate. Jungkook walked past him. He released a heavy sigh and went to his room. He felt lonely in the large room, which is a big and his small house. He was thinking about calling his grandmother but dropped the idea because it was midnight and she was probably sleeping now. He took his phone and dialed Hobby's number, but Hobby didn't attend his call. Maybe he is also slept, they thought to himself, but suddenly his phone rang and it was Hobby. He knew he wanted to explain everything to his best friend. He accepted the call after releasing a heavy sigh. How are you doing there? Hobby asked at an instant when the call got accepted. I am good, Hobby. How was Granny? Did you visit her? Yes, I'm sorry, I was not there when you left. It's fun. They didn't know what to else to say. They, are you sure about this? From Hobby voice, he felt how much his friend was concerned about him. Hobby, I know everything. I know why you agree to this, but how long are you going to lie to her? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe God will show me another way. Theo was on the verge of crying, thinking about one day he would have to break his grandmother's heart. Don't worry, I will be there for you always. And that's all he wanted to cry out. The two best friends spoke for a long time until one of them fell asleep. An officially party next week. Jimin asked his mother with widen eyes. Yes, do you have any objection? Mrs. Chan asked. No, I don't have any objection. It just surprised me. Mrs. Chan gave him a nod. I wanted to make their relationship official. and it's been a long time since we gather. Jimin, I want to see my friend and family before I return abroad. I am glad that Jungkook agreed to this. Of course, he had no other choice. Jimin, we should make it simple. No media is allowed at the party. I don't like unnecessary people. Only our close friend and family member. It will be lots of fun. Jimin can see her eyes shining while talking about the party. Okay, Mrs. Jan, all of your command, Jimin said in a naughty and deep voice. Mrs. Jan gave him a smack and they both laughed. It's morning. It's 8:30 a.m. They was cooking something in the kitchen when Jungkook came down, well dressed in uh, well dressed in his fine suits. Where are you going there? Jungkook asked, which stared there, and they stopped his handfall. They turned towards Jungkook and released a relief sound before speaking. I am cooking our breakfast, they said. Isn't it the servant job? And did I ask you to make my brekkie? Jungkook gave him a frustrated look. I like to cook the food and I eat, and I thought it would be good if I cook it for us together. He said this while fiddling with his fingers. Ah, Mrs. Sin. A lady in her 15 ran towards Jungkook with lightning speed when she heard Jungkook shout. I'm sorry, Mr. Jian. Mr. Te has request to cook for both of you by yourself. This will never happen again. I'm really sorry. Jungkook gave her a strong look and began to roar again. If you want me to eat anything, don't make him cook for me. Guess I should eat from outside today. Then marched towards the door and left. He was really embarrassed. He doesn't think making breakfast made Jungkook this much anger. Mrs. Min looked at Tae with pity. She had known about her Jungkook behavior for the past 9 years. She couldn't do anything. She silently left from there. Tae picked up the spoon from the floor and decided to eat the food he made alone because no matter what happened, he cannot waste food. He knew how it is for some people to get food for a day, and he doesn't want to starve in this situation. He has to eat for his baby who is growing inside him. They have gone by slowly every day. Jungkook leave for work early in the morning and return home late at night. They feel lonely. He sometimes goes for a walk around the garden and sits there silently watching nature. Hobby and his grandmother call him from time to time to check on him, and he lies to them and said that he was happy there. He tried to visit his restaurant, but his grandma warned him not to travel alone. He needs someone to talk with him and to accompany him, but there is no one there. The servant will do their job and leave on time. They don't dare chat with Tae because Jungkook doesn't like them talking with his guests. It was midnight when Jungkook arrived home. He entered the main hall, felt thirsty, and decided to drink some water from the kitchen. He was just about to turn on the light when he saw a fridge in the fridge lights, and it scared to see out of him. Ah! Both screamed at the same time. Jungkook quickly turned on the switch and saw a half-asleep Tae is his puffy some and he was holding something familiar in his hand. What the are you doing in this hour holding my banana milk? They flinched so hard at Jungkook roar that the bottle in his hand almost slipped. I was sleeping, but suddenly I craved for some banana milks. I didn't expect you at this hour. I'm sorry if I scared you, they said. Jungkook didn't say anything. He walked past mm, tea to take a bottle of water. Finished in a second. He panted for a moment, then turned towards Thay. What are you looking at? Go to sleep. Thay doesn't want. Wait a second. He quickly ran towards his room, but he stopped in the middle and turned towards Jungkook. What? Jungkook raised an eyebrow. Why are you yelling at everyone? It doesn't solve any problem. Try to calm yourself and smile at least once a day. You? Before Jungkook could yell, they quickly ran into his room and closed the door. The party. Emma, I can take care of it. You don't have to do this, Jimin said. Mrs. Jan was trying the tie for Jimin, who was getting ready for the party. Stay still, Jimin, or else I will tighten the hold. She went, and that was enough for Jimin to stay still. He looked at his mother with a smile. Besides, I'm not the main character in the party, so it's not worth it from me to all doll up. No, I want both my son and my to signing today. I checked on him earlier. He was looking. What about him? I didn't get time to check on him in this dress. He is also getting ready and he always looks handsome, and my Jimin too. Thank you, Emma. Jimin didn't make me a third person by saying thanks. Just because I didn't give you birth doesn't mean I will put you aside. Jimin can't help but smile at her cute compliments. Quickly finish this and join the party before it starts. I am going for another chick. The Mrs. Jan leaves. The party is about to begin. The friends and family members of the Jian family are greeted around. Jungkook and Mrs. Jian were greeted all the guests, and Jimin was busy checking that everything was going currently and making sure everyone was enjoying the party. Suddenly, the crowd began to whisper and gasp, looking at someone who was not unnoticed by the Jians. They had just entered the party event. He was looking elegant and gorgeous in the outfit. All eyes were on Thay. Thay looked a bit uncomfortable. He had never attended a party like this. He hesitated, walked past people, but suddenly they quickly turned towards the owner of the vase. It was his granny, along with his best friend Hobby, smiled at them. He didn't waste any time hugging of them. It felt like he's found in the middle of desert. When did you two come? He inquired by joy. We must arrive, and I must say that my baby is looking more beautiful today. They blessed at her compliment. Yes, they. Everyone was talking about you. I think they are mesmerized by your beauty, Hobby said with a wink, which made the even redder. Stop teasing me, will you? I am so happy to see you both. I miss you both, they said with a pout, and his eyes are almost teary with joy. Go, my baby, we also miss you. They giggled at her grandmother pouts. They were busy uh, talking when suddenly someone made an announcement. My dear, I am always thankful for you all for joining in this party. Everyone looked towards Mrs. Jian, who was speaking on a microphone and standing on a small stage prepared for the party. Today is this event. I am going to introduce a special person for you all. Everyone started to whisper more after hearing this. He was getting anxious every time he looked around and the people and their gossip. He wanted this party to end. Hobby gave Thay a assuring hold on his hand. He knew Thay was not used to this type of gathering. Mrs. Young slowly asked Jungkook to join the stage with her, and she continued, "My son, Jungkook, is successfully stepping on his business day by day, but a person's success is not fully memorized but also learning a happy life with their family, and I am happy that he chose the right on to continue his successful journey. I'm not in this anymore. I am going to call my son Jian Jungkook boyfriend on this step. Take him there." Suddenly, a furrier of light fall on the spot. He was thrilled by it. He only saw these things in dramas. He looked eternal in the light. Everyone gasped upon seeing his beauty. He didn't move an inch from there. "The Mrs. Yan is calling you. Go." His grandmother said him. He looked at his grandmother and nodded. He slowly took a step towards the stage. When he was about to step on the stage, a hand appeared in front of it. Was Jungkook. They held his hand and stepped onto the stage. Looking at Jungkook, they were now too close. This is the first time they had seen Jungkook this close, and he has to say that Jungkook is really handsome, like the prince in the stories his grandmother has told him. Jungkook can't deny that every time he sees Tae, he looks more beautiful. His eyes, his plum lips, his face, everything screamed nothing but perfect. They stare at each other until you two can have your own time after the party. Jimin suddenly whispered from behind them. Tae quickly took his hand from Taehyung and moved a little bit. Jungkook did the same. Uh, "This is Kim Taehyung, my son," Jung Jungkook boyfriend, Mrs. Jian said, which made Tae suddenly bow at 90 degrees to the crowd with a light anahasya which caused most of them to him. "And I'm very happy to announce that I'm going to be a grandparent soon." Suddenly, the crowd gasped and clapped with joy, and many people shouted their heartfelt wishes for the John family. Jungkook kept a good fake smile in front of everyone and then tried it, who is going through all kind of emotion. "On this occasion, I am giving them a small gift." Then Mrs. Jian turned towards Jimin, who quickly handed her a small box. She put the microphone aside and walked towards the couple. "It's a small gift for both of you." Jungkook put this ring in their hand. They clapped upon seeing two diamond rings on Mrs. Jian's hand. He looked at Jungkook, who was taking a ring from the box, and turned to Tae. Tae didn't waste any time. He looked at Tae's hand and put the ring on his finger. Tae looked at him in shock. He doesn't want things to happen like this. How can he be engaged to someone who doesn't love him? Jungkook looked at him without any emotion. This is not what he wants. He wants to see love and warmth in his partner's eyes. He stood there speechless. "Now it's your turn, dear," Mrs. Chan alerted him. They looked at the ring and then Jungkook. He can say that Jungkook is not feeling anything about this sudden engagement, even thought he doesn't love Jungkook. He doesn't want Jungkook at least to care about this event for his baby. This made him even sadder. They gave one last look at the ring and put it on Jungkook's face. He doesn't hurt it like Jungkook. He gently and carefully put the ring in Jungkook's finger because he knew the value of relationship. He looked at Jungkook, who was now standing closer to Tae. Tae didn't know when Jungkook moved closer to him, and then the next thing that happened was Jungkook leapt on him. His eyes widened and his cheek blushed at the sudden action. He doesn't know why. He closed his eyes and let Jungkook continue the kiss. Jungkook insected his hand around the waist and pulled him closer. Everyone clapped happily for the couple. Mrs. Kim was on the off crying after witnessing her grandson engagement. Jimin and Mrs. Chan smiled at each other.